Good morning, folks. Vlog day 47. It's chilly. The animals are restless. We'll see what today goes on. How's it going, guys? How you doing? Hey. It's all food all the time, right? Yep. Hey, good evening, YouTube. Wrapping up vlog day 47. I'm not sure I'm going to start titling these. I need to find a different convention, numbering convention or something, right? But just pilling around doing small things, catching up on the big things if I can. What are y'all up to today? You about ready for some dinner? Yeah, probably so, huh? Probably so. So yeah, getting things done a little bit. It's that time of year. Fall is nice and cool in the morning, and then day it's still 75 degrees or such. But quick discussion to a video that Prepper Nurse did I guess it was a couple days ago. It's talking about, would you be able to kill somebody in SHTF? And that's just the wrong mind. I think that's just the wrong mindset. And he's talking about, obviously, self-defense scenarios. You know, you have to do it, yada yada. Obviously, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about marauding the earth, you know, being a raider or anything. But I think it would behoove everybody to, you have to get in that mindset now, and you have to come to the conclusion that yes, you can, because if you can't determine that now in your own mind, and don't fool yourself, and he talks about that a little bit, about what that takes. If you own a firearm now, you have to be in that mindset, because that's the purpose of it. Granted, you might do some hunting or some other stuff, and it's fun, and it's target practice and all that stuff, but if you have purchased a firearm to be multi-purpose and be prepared, use for self-defense, you have to be in the mindset of you're prepared to kill somebody, because that's what it is. It's deadly force. It's not injure to wound. It's not shoot to scare away. You have to mentally toughen your mind, or set yourself in that manner that you will have to do it in an unknown situation, an unknown time, so that you can instantaneously act instead of being caught off guard. That's the whole purpose of training, is to have that instantaneous action when you know that it is necessary to use. That's why the military trains so much. I think the books on combat and on killing by Colonel Grossman are critical to understanding the mindset, and how you have to live if you want to be in that mindset, to be in that mindset at all, to be prepared. So I'll put the link to that video in the discussion box below. But when you're thinking about this, don't just think about SHTF. Think about now. Determine if you have prepared yourself, training and mentally, physically and mentally, to do that, and spiritually, because it is a spiritual component, whether you believe it or not, to enabling yourself to take a life. It is not going to be taken lightly, and I think a lot of PTSD and stuff is the result of things that happen to the person, but also a large amount of PTSD is things that they did themselves and they weren't ready for. And some of that has to do with they did have to take a life and they weren't mentally, spiritually, and physically prepared. And it's not necessarily their fault. I'm not blaming anybody, but I think that's a large component of why PTSD is so high, because the spiritual component of society is lacking compared to the past. The training component has improved, but people disregard it, I think, in a lot of ways when they are desensitized with modern movies, video games, stuff like that. It kind of doesn't, it takes on a different nature of realness when you actually have to do it. And whereas past generations saw life and death more often, I think, in the form of their lifestyle, with having to actually kill the things that you are eating, understanding that circle of life, and that all life is valuable. But when it comes down to it, there's certain you got to take it on as your responsibility or not. But getting back to the subject, kind of got on a tangent there. But yeah, as soon as you buy a firearm, you have to get yourself in that mindset. You have to train physically. As you are going through your training scenarios, you have to mentally put yourself in the situation of either a stress factor or just a mental note of, hey, if I hit this guy here, if I hit the target here, it has this effect. You have made an instantaneous shot, or you have wounded them and they're going to bleed out, or whatever the result might be from your training. And getting used to firing more than once. It takes multiple shots to take somebody down 9 times out of 10. Not many people are going to stop on one shot unless you're shooting a high grain bullet, high velocity to the cranium. So I'll just go check that video out, think about it, share it. I think it's definitely something that people need to think about now, not just for the after CHTF situation, because it's going to probably come up before this then. And plus, there are tons of scenarios where you're not going to know if it started or not. You're on your drive home from work and everything fell apart in 20 minutes and you weren't listening to the radio because you're stressed out. And there it is. Situation comes upon you. So, something to think about.